peoples. Yours truly, Diva. Yes, 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 yes. Q&A. All right. Hello, peoples. Do I need to do my dance in the house? Yeah. Yeah. My hair don't move. My hair don't move. Hello. We're going to get into this thing today. Yeah. I want to talk to you today about some new ventures going on with Diva Lyri and UNA. Halo, 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 Diva. Yeah, halo, y'all. Diva in the house with UNA University and UNARepublic. Halo. All right, getting into this thing today. What are we talking about today? Today, we're getting into the power of your words. The power of your words. Now, those of y'all who've been a part of this channel, and by the way, to my people in TikTok, Halo, I love you. Thank you for your support. To my people in YouTube land, Halo, I love you. Thank you for your support. Now, I want to get into this today. For those of y'all who have seen the channel and been here for some time, you know that we get into all laws. For those of you who don't know me, I'm yours truly, Diva Lyri. All right. And I speak on all laws, but you also know that I'm very heavy on the higher laws, the universal laws, the laws of maxim, those laws that deal with the spiritual realm. And I want to get into that today when I speak about your words and the contracts that they make. Now, I want to go into just a little bit of some of the things that I go through on a regular basis as an instructor. So, as an instructor, especially dealing with law, and I get a lot of people who are coming to me about their house, for example, being foreclosed on, or they're about to go into foreclosure, or they'll speak about their children and things that their children are going through, or fathers who are with the child support issue and being chased and they can't get a job, or their wages are being garnished. And it pains me a lot. It does. And, one of the things in dealing with this, situations on all different types of levels, including what we call domestic violence and things like that. When I hear those things, it concerns me, it pains me. But through all of that, what I've learned is that everything comes down to a spiritual issue, spiritual. And when someone comes to me and they're just thinking, oh, it's my mortgage, or, they're just raising the rent and they're predatory lending, that's a spiritual thing. When someone tells me about domestic violence, that is a spiritual thing. And I can go so many different ways talking about this whole spiritual side of this game. But today, I want to deal specifically with your words and how powerful they are, because a lot of us just don't truly recognize how powerful our words are. So I want to get into this about the words and the contracts that we put out when we start speaking. Okay. So I need to go back a little bit because I want to go into the English language. All right. The English language and where it comes from. So some of you all are not aware of a group of people known as the Phoenicians. These were melanated people. And I want to say thank you for everybody for joining. Before I get on, Nostrum 22, can I mold? M-O-D, I don't know what that means, but Make it clear, and let's see. Who else is? I'm just checking who's in the house. Got a lot of people. Donald, thank you for joining. Solomon, and everybody in YouTube land, thank y'all for joining. So, getting into words and recognizing the power of words and how we create contracts every time we speak. All right. So, going into the Phoenicians. This was a group of melanated people. They came from, according to history and my research, you find them a lot in the Israelite tribe, that they were connected to that Israelite tribe. Now, this group of people, and including the Israelites, they were very well known for being able to predict history. They can speak things into existence as well. I was got one story when I was doing research about how the people, every time the Israelites would come around, they'd scatter, they'd shy away because they said, "Oh, here come them Israelites." When they start talking, stuff starts manifesting. All right, and so the Phoenicians are the ones, they were a group of people who were very well known for creating or being, doing black magic with words. Because you understand when you're speaking, you're spelling, okay? Spelling as in casting spells. So they were known for black magic and their black magic principles. And so what ends up happening is they create this language that we know of called English, the English language. The Phoenicians are responsible for that. And once again, these are not Albion, so-called white people. White people didn't do that. Melanated people created the language. And it was purposely, the English language was purposely created to cast spells. And this is a language whereby we're using syllables in ways that we don't recognize are to our detriment. Okay, it's a jumbled language purposely, and it was taught to a group of people to throw them off balance spiritually. All right, so remember, these are melanated people creating this language and then casting these spells on another group of people. Okay, so we're recognizing why the language was created purposely to cast spells. Now let's recognize who we are as spiritual entities. All right, as spiritual entities, who are we? One of the things we're not told is that as spiritual entities, we reincarnate into these things that we call bodies or vessels, known as vessels. We reincarnate, but our spirit full well knows who we are and who we were in another time. Some of us are not tapped in enough to recognize who we were at another time, but your spirit never forgets. They've been here. That's why you'll hear people say, "You've always been here, you always will be." When you hear people talking about, "Oh, that child is an old spirit." Yeah, and so are you. So of all of us, we've been here before. So with that understanding, let's recognize that your spirit doesn't forget. And so when there are vibrations that your spirits pick up, your spirits are constantly picking up vibrations, and those vibrations that you are speaking are very powerful, because whatever vibration you speak, your inner spirits, they hear it, and they're going to react and respond to it. So this is why it's important that we recognize who we are as spiritual entities, and the spirits within us remember all of the phrases and all of these syllables that we're speaking. So getting back to this English language and the contracts that we write, okay? Because remember, your spirit recognizes everything you say, even though you don't know that the syllables are a detriment. Your spirits know. I'm going to get into some of the things that I hear. Now, getting back to how I hear people speaking contracts all the time that they don't recognize are contracts. When you're saying I am anything, be careful about what you put behind it. When you say I am, that needs to be some kind of power phrase behind that. What I hear a lot, and this is what people don't even catch on to, I'll hear women, like for example, I had a woman, she wanted to get into one of my seminars, and she says, but I'm broke, broke, broke. And she didn't recognize what she was saying. She's writing a contract. She said, I am broke, 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 and said it just like that 3 times. And I'm like, and I had to say to her, do you recognize that you're writing a contract at this time when you speak? And so I'm getting into this to say this point and understanding that when we want to make a change in our dimension, it's all about the contracts that we write out of our mouth. What do you say? What are you saying about yourself? And that power phrase, I am, it's very important that we recognize what we're putting behind that, because some of us are very tough on ourselves. Some of us open our mouths and we are constantly being disrespectful to ourselves in ways that we wouldn't let somebody be to somebody else. If it were our best friend and somebody said the things that we say about ourselves, about our best friend, we'd be very upset and ready to fight. But we constantly say these things about ourselves and not recognize that we're writing contracts. So understanding who I am Diva Lyri. I speak law, and my goal is to make sure I help us start to write the contracts that we want to see in our third dimension. My goal is to help us write the contracts that we want to see in our third dimension, because as soon as we start speaking it, it's got to appear. So as I say this, we do have our seminars going on, and I invite you, please go to UNARepublic.com or hit us up in the inbox, and let's start writing the contracts. We talk about what's going on with the system and the agents and all of these other things that are going on outside of us. But what we want to start to recognize is, as soon as we start writing ourselves, by writing the contracts and spelling in the way that we want our third dimension to show up, then everything outside of us must write itself as well. It must correct itself. So I invite you all to join us in the university. Go to UNARepublic.com and become a part of the university so that we can start writing our contracts. We can start spelling what we want to see. You also, if you want to have me to come and speak at one of your engagements, I encourage you to visit us at UNARepublic.com. You can also hit us in the inbox or check out the profile, the links in the profile, so that you can become a part of the university. And again, learn all these laws, learn all of the laws. A hierarchy of laws are very important because they help us to understand where we stand in this society. Also, the universal laws, they're very important because they help us to recognize the spiritual aspect of this game and how to start spelling the way we want to. So I want to make sure I once again invite everybody, all right, send me a message. Let's do this. Let's build this third dimension to look like what we want it to look like by changing ourselves, by vibrating on a spiritual level with our inner selves so that they produce for us what we want to see, all right? Once again, I'm yours truly, Diva Lyri. I want to thank you all for listening. I'm going to be here every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sundays, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Y'all want to get into the university? We are in session, winter 2023. Winter 2023. We've got back to basics. We've got whose court is it anyway? And we've got banking, baby. So if you want to be a part of the university, I want you to send us a message. I'm yours truly, Diva Lyri. I love y'all. All right, I'm going to catch y'all in class or in a seminar near you. Call me. I'm ready. Diva, bye-bye.